Let's be honest, if you just looked at the scoreline, you'd think Real Madrid delivered a statement. Another 3 points, another good win, 2-0. But if you watched the game, if you actually paid attention, you probably walked away more conflicted than confident. Welcome back. Today we're breaking down Real Madrid's 2-0 victory over Sevilla and why this comfortable result might actually expose deeper problems, both on the pitch and within the team's identity. And yes, we are going to talk about Rodrygo, not just his performance, but the real strategic questions surrounding him, the team around him, and what this match really says about Real Madrid going forward. So if you're ready for honest analysis without the hype, let's get into it. Real Madrid walked onto the pitch at the Bernabeu with all eyes on them. They were coming into the winter break looking to build momentum. They wanted to keep pace with Barcelona in La Liga, and they got the result they needed, a 2-0 win. But here's the first uncomfortable truth. A win doesn't always equal dominance. And in this game, Real Madrid didn't dominate. They survived, they endured, and they barely got it done until the very end. That's not the hallmark of a title contender. That's the hallmark of a team in transition. So there were some misleading moments, the flow of the game. Let's talk about how this match actually flowed. Real Madrid's first goal came from a set piece, a Bellingham header from a free kick. That's not a sign of tactical brilliance. That's a sign of opportunity. Sevilla didn't collapse. They didn't fold. They merely kept fighting. In fact, Sevilla arguably looked more threatening than most people want to admit. They created chances. They tested Courtois. They kept possession in dangerous areas. It wasn't one-sided domination, no. It was a close contest that Real Madrid happened to edge. Was it a hero or a save? Let's address the man between the sticks. Thibaut Courtois was arguably Real's most decisive player in this match. When Sevilla broke forward, and they did break forward, Courtois was there. When Sevilla looked like they might score, Courtois was there. In a tactical setup where Madrid didn't impose a clear attacking identity, the goalkeeper essentially became the defensive backbone by default. That's not a compliment, that's a warning. On paper, Real Madrid finished with more of the ball, correct? They completed more attacking metrics overall. Rodrygo in particular registered the highest attacking threat of any Real player. But here's the key line. Numbers don't always reflect impact. He made more progressive plays, he made more key passes, but did any of that change the game flow? Think about it. Not really. It's one thing to be statistically involved, it's another to dominate. And this match had very little domination from anyone, even from Rodrygo. Now we get to the part where everyone wants to talk about Rodrygo. Recently, he's been billed by fans, pundits, and even some analysts as one of Real's most creative threats. And statistically, in this match, he generated significant attacking value. I'm not gonna lie. But here's the controversial point. Rodrygo had chances, he created chances, but he didn't finish the chances. He didn't decide the match. He hit the bar, he forced saves from the keeper, he almost changed the game, but he didn't. He almost, but he didn't. And that's where the real analysis begins. Let's be clear about something, right? There's a difference between impact and involvement. Rodrygo was involved. He touched the ball. He tried passes. He drew fouls. But did he make moments that mattered? The real difference between good players and elite players is not involvement, it's decisiveness. When games are tight, moments determine outcomes. And in this one, Rodrygo just didn't make enough of them. What should have happened once Sevilla went down to 10 men? It was it's what every elite team does. Exploit the moment, right? push higher, rotate faster, stretch the defense. Instead, Madrid seemed to reset. Search for comfortable passes, not killer passes. We are talking about comfortable passes. That's not intent, that's hesitation in disguise. Late in the match, Real Madrid won the penalty that Mbappe converted. And with that goal, he equaled Cristiano Ronaldo's calendar year scoring record. Huge moment, yes. Controversial, also yes. Commentators and fans would debate whether it was a clear-cut penalty, but here's the real takeaway. It wasn't a moment of dominance. It was a moment of fortune meeting circumstance. When you aren't controlling games, penalties become the easiest path to wins. That's not strategy, that's luck. So this is where the story gets even more interesting. Sevilla, despite playing with 10 men for nearly half an hour, never stopped creating threats. They pushed, they tested, they fought. Many analysts said Madrid looked like the better team. But if you watched the full match, like I did, you know that Sevilla's threat did not disappear with the red card. That suggests Sevilla's system didn't break and Madrid couldn't truly dominate. Fans leaving Bernabeu weren't cheering for fluid attacking football. They were relieved. That's significant. When a stadium full of home supporters is relieved by a 2-0 scoreline against a mid-table opponent, you know something is off. And critics in the media echoed concerns about creativity, structure, and ideas. Now the key question. Is this just one game that looked ugly on the surface? Or is this symptomatic of something bigger at Real Madrid? Some pundits say it's a blip. Some fans call it tactical maturity. But here's the bold claim. Wins like this, where structure overtakes intent, often disguise deeper tactical issues. Because teams that manage matches rarely become teams that control them. You see, so if Rodrygo is going to be the creative linchpin Real Madrid needs, then he has to evolve from involvement into impact. Moments matter more than minutes. Difference, not just participate in the build up. And that responsibility, whether it's Rodrigo, Bape, Bellingham, or someone else, needs clarity. Without that clarity, you get performances like this one, efficient on paper, uninspiring in reality. So here's the truth. Real Madrid won yesterday, but they didn't convince. They got 3 points, but they didn't dominate. And most importantly, they didn't define a style. Wins aren't enough in elite football. You have to earn authority. And authority isn't earned by safe possession, late penalties, and statistical involvement. It's earned when team force outcomes, when players create moments, and when coaches impose systems. That didn't happen here. And that's why this 2-0 win over Sevilla is more revealing than people realize. If you disagree, argue in the comments. But understand this, a scoreline only tells you half the story. This was the other half.